Good morning, and welcome to your daily Farm and Home Show, brought to you by the University of Kentucky Cooperative Extension Service. And now, here's your host.
Good morning and welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna, and have you ever wanted to grow your own fruit at home? Well, Kristin Hildabrand, Warren County Extension Agent for Horticulture, is going to tell us and give us some tips on how to make that happen.
Yeah, we get excited, you know, because the winter we've dreamed up a lot of things. The spring we want to put everything into action. And so this is a good thing just to kind of talk about some of the things that are needed for fruit production here in Kentucky. Because here in Kentucky we have a lot of humidity. We have a lot of insects, and if you're growing anything that fruits or bears fruit, you're going to have some issues that come into play as the growing season happens. So I know we talked yesterday, and I do want to mention that cultivar selection is very, very important for any of the crops that we're growing here in Kentucky. So it could be anything from small fruits again to larger tree fruits. And so a really nice guide that we have at the Extension office, it's a Hort fact sheet, matter of fact, Joanna, but it's called Fruit and Nut Cultivar, and it's also got nursery sources of where you can obtain a lot of these different cultivars. And so it's really important, especially for those folks that don't want to spray a whole lot, and we do have a lot of people that want to cut down on their spray. You really want to make sure that you purchase a disease-resistant variety. And so you don't find those generally at the big box stores, so it's really important to purchase one from a reputable, high quality nursery. And generally those guys, those companies are going to, you know, put a guarantee on those plants. They've actually taken a lot of care to make sure it's the right cultivar, and it's, again, it's a high quality crop, because, you know, you'll get bare root or you'll get container grown plants depending on what price you want to pay. So if you come by and pick this up, it's got all the fruits that are listed here in Kentucky, and then it's got the cultivar next to it, and then where you can obtain that particular variety from a nursery. So I know a lot of people get really interested in strawberries or blueberries or apples. It's really good to make sure that you start out with a good variety first.
That's going to work well in Kentucky, and that's what this guide will help you figure out, right?
Because, I mean, you know, when you look through these catalogs, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed because they're naming this, and it sounds great, but
or this one's the prettiest picture.
Exactly, exactly. They do marketing 101 very well. So pick that guide up. It's really handy. The other thing I want to mention too, Joanna, about cultivar selection is that some of these crops are going to require two different varieties. So they have to be cross-pollinated, and our friendly bees do that service for us, where they carry from one pollen from a flower to another pollen of a flower, and then it cross-pollinates, and then we have fruit set. So things like apples and pears are going to have to be cross-pollinated, but then there's some other fruits that, again, will only be, you know, self-pollinating. So things like strawberries will do that. I'm trying to think, figs will also do that. And so you want to be particular and know, you know, am I going to have to purchase a different one?
And that was part of your advice about knowing the fruit, knowing that crop that you're going to raise.
Right. Know it ahead of time before you get ready to plant anything. So pick up that guide. The other thing I want to talk about, especially when you get into any of the fruits, whether it be small or tree, you have to prune. And so, again, know your fruit, you know, because a lot of the small fruits will have canes. And so you'll have to think about, you know, with perennials, they have prima canes the first year, which is basically just the foliage. And then the second year, then they're going to come back and actually put on flora canes, which has the flower, which then, again, produces the fruit. So you want to be careful and kind of watch that particular fruit. Now for trees, if you think about apples and pears, those are a little bit hardier for Kentucky, so they're a little easier to grow, but still require a lot of labor. So a couple of you know, different equipment that you might want to pick up are gardening tools. These are just little hand pruners, and they're good for light pruning, especially when it's a younger type tree, or maybe even a shrub for some of the smaller fruits. Then you've got some lopping off shears that are really good for really all types of pruning cuts. So they're really good to keep on hand. And then we've also got a pruning saw, and it's got some jagged teeth to it, that's really good for bigger pieces or branches of that particular plant. So it's really important to make sure when you get ready to prune that you have good clean blades. So I know we talk about a lot at the Extension office. It's even, if you've had trouble with disease in years past, you want to prune and sanitize those pruning blades when you can. And so Disinfecting wipes are generally good. You probably want to wash off those handles because we get sap and things like that on it. But a 10% bleach solution that's got about 9 parts water to 1 part bleach is really effective in sanitizing your pruning blades.
All right, very important information. In pruning, it's kind of counterproductive, we think, but to get more fruit, that's what we need to do. And Kristin has all the information available at the Extension office to help you out. Thanks for watching and have a great day.
If you have questions about today's topic, please call the Warren County Extension office at the number on your screen. Thanks for watching and have a great day.